So you have a camp plumber now? Well, your dad would be proud.
Well, it can't be any worse than that box that broke down on us on our way to Dave Matthews.
Tell anyone I like Dave Matthews and I kill you. Oh, Mark! Oh, God! Mark, it's hurting. Ow! Oh, my God!
Okay, you're looking at The Floaters, an offbeat and heartfelt Jewish summer camp comedy film starring Jackie Ton from Netflix's Nobody Wants This and Toronto's very own Sarah Podemski, who you might know from Reservation Dogs. This offbeat comedy captures the rich diversity of a Jewish summer camp and explores the conflict between leaving one's mark and building connections. So it is our pleasure to welcome to our studio this morning one of the stars of the film, Toronto's very own Sarah Podemski. Sarah, great to see you.
Hi, nice to see you.
Congratulations on this film. You were just saying that you filmed that scene we watched during your first trimester.
Yes.
I can't imagine what that was like. It was shot in upstate New York.
Yeah.
What made you say yes to the role of Mara in this film?
Yeah, I mean, I had never read anything like this or seen anything, you know, like this on screen, you know, this Jewish summer camp culture, which I grew up in, and I was a camper at and a counselor at. And I think that's what draws me to projects is, you know, stories that haven't been told, even though we've seen summer camp stories. It's like this specific, you know, Jewish perspective is like, is something that I hadn't seen on screen before.
Yeah, and your father is Jewish and your mother is Indigenous from the Anishinaabe First Nation. And you've said that authentic representation is really important to you when it comes to storytelling, and it's pretty key to this project. So how did that authenticity kind of shape your performance in something like this, which felt so close to home?
Yeah, I mean, when I read Mara, I know these women, I know these people that are like, you know, running the summer camps and stressed out about money and not enough money and the kids and, you know, just the bonkersness of, you know, what goes on at, you know, summer camp. So I felt like I really knew her and I was able to kind of, you know, go into my memory of all the people that I had worked with, you know, that were adults and seemed so adult at the time.
Yeah.
I love the thing about, you know, this idea of Mara. She's also figuring it out. You know, she is an adult, she's running this camp, but she's also just, you know, trying to find out who she is and who she is as a leader and her family legacy and, you know, trying to honor that. So I found it really kind of easy to access.
For sure. Yeah, so you play the camp director and you recruit Nomi, played by Jackie Ton from Nobody Wants This. A very different role for her because in Nobody Wants This, she's like this kind of princess, stushy, bougie girl, and now she's like got kicked out of her rock band. And one of your counselors quits after getting underwear and gum glued to her hair, which is a funny scene. What was it like working with her as you know, your BFF in this film going against the rival camp?
She's great. She's been in this so long. She's just so talented. Such a joy to work with. So funny. And this was before Nobody Wants This came out, so it's been so wild to see her be celebrated in a way that I think is just so beautiful. But she's such a joy to work with. Everybody was such a joy to work with. It was so great to work with, you know, like Steve Guttenberg, who I like grew up with watching his films, and Seth Green, and then, you know, Jackie. So it was such a talented group of actors that came together to make this film.
So the title of this film is called The Floaters, and I know you deal with a broken septic tank, but we're not talking about that kind of floater.
No.
We're talking about the camp
There will be
kids.
no floaters seen in this film, just so everybody knows.
But we're talking about like kind of the outsider teens that are in this camp trying to figure themselves out in those growing pain years. Would you describe yourself as, you know, being a floater growing up? Yeah,
totally. I mean, I think everybody may, you know, feel themselves in that, you know, situation at least once in their life, you know, kind of fish out of water, trying to find your footing, trying to find your community. And it doesn't end, you know, when you're going through adolescence. Like, you know, adulthood is the same thing, finding your community and really finding yourself. It's a constant kind of evolution. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm still there.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it never ends, right? The insecurity, the doubt, the imposter syndrome. So this film was shot at a real camp.
Yes.
What was that like? Were all the amenities there? Did you guys get to like sleep there, or what was it like?
The craziest thing was that it was like exactly like the camp that I went to in Ontario.
And the producers went to this camp.
Yes, they went to this camp, and I believe that their parents met at this camp.
Wow.
It was wild. I mean, I stayed off site, but some of the younger actors like lived on the camp. It was really cool. It was very nostalgic, and also when you're not on a set, you have to like be in the elements, and like we had, you know, some bears, and we had the weather, and we had all this stuff that was like great to, you know, inform our performance and also, you know, help us really feel what these characters were going through. Yeah.
Okay, last question for you, Sarah. I know you've been to, you know, a Jewish summer camp. You were also a camp counselor. Did you ever have like a watershed moment at camp that you'll always remember and be like, wow, that was life-defining?
Oh my goodness.
So many, I bet.
So many. And the feeling that, you know, kind of coming back into community, I felt like every summer I could come back and there was a familiarity and kind of a safety to it. And that's one thing that I really loved, was that it kind of taught me how to, you know, find the people that are going to make me feel good and safe and feel in community. So I think that was something that it taught me that I could look forward to after camp, you know, just being able to trust my gut and to, you know, really look for people that, you know, were like-minded, you know, and my values and stuff like that. So I think that was a good learning experience to, you know, learn how to find your community, no matter who it is. Just, you know, find those people that, you know, make you feel great about yourself.
Yeah, kind of like putting the puzzle pieces to yourself back together each summer with that safety and security and tradition.
Yes.
Sarah Podemski, I know it's screening, but it's sold out on October 29th at Al Green Theater. Congratulations. I hope everyone gets a chance to watch The Floaters. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Congrats on the film and being a new mommy.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.